welcome back to day 6 in the new house. We are starting, well, it's not the morning, it's nearly 8 o'clock actually, so there isn't actually that much of the day left. But we have made some progress, that is the main thing. So, been into the office at work today, hence getting back a little bit later. But we've come back, we've measured the lengths of wood that we need, and then we have been to B&Q and picked up everything we need to rebuild the cabinets up there and the cabinet around there. Now, I use the term everything we need in inverted commas because I guarantee you there's going to be something I've missed or forgotten, but we've got battening, we've got panels, we've got extra screws and plugs and tape for covering things up, so fingers crossed we got most of what we need. Shout out to my boy Callum, he came across to me to B&Q, helped to held the wood because unfortunately this stuff here was originally in lengths of like 2.5 meters. Which wasn't going to fit in my car, so we pre-measured the bits roughly what we need. I'll correctly size them up afterwards and just cut out some lengths just so we could get them in the car. But yeah, everything there's sitting there ready to go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to head out, get some food sorted, come back, and then probably when it's dark we'll start attacking that cabinet, I guess. Might have to cut the wood inside the house, which is not ideal, just because it's going to be loud, but hey ho, it's old carpet, it's going to get dusty and ripped out at some point anyway, so we'll rip it out. But anyway, I will update you on progress a little bit later. You've got my pack opening style view here because I've got these Dewalt cases. These were a Christmas gift, and so far I've only really filled one of them with like wood screws and stuff like that. But to do this job, we went out and bought some new screws. Now, when I was looking around, I realised I didn't really plan what I needed. So we just sort of guessed, and we're going to find out how this goes. So we've got some 50 by 10 wall plugs. The idea being that the battening is 44mm deep at its thickest if I mount it the way I'm thinking of mounting. So I'll probably have to sort of drill these and countersink them into the wood a bit to get enough grippage in the wall, I guess. We also brought some much smaller 5mm by 25mm wall plugs. The idea is that with these L brackets, we're going to use these to make a bit of an upright unit. I'll explain the full plan later, but turns out I lucked out. They're the right size to fit through those, so that's an absolute winner. And just to be on the safe side, in case I need them, I also bought some slightly smaller wall plugs for mounting thinner pieces of wood into the wall. But they're going to be useful regardless, so let's get our cases organised, and we can stash these away. So, I mean, these should just be, there you go, nice little tear pack, handy dandy. Thank you very much. Now the question is do I separate the plugs from the screws? Let's not do so for the time being because it'll save us a little bit of time. We might move them later, but I think we're probably going to be picking up quite a few new different fixings over the course of the next few days. So I'm guessing I'm probably going to need all the space in these I can get. Now I have got a third one. If I need it, that's currently got the most essential thing in, which is of course zip ties. That's for anybody that knows. So yeah, we've got that if we need it. So let's get the small ones of these in here, tucked in. There we go, lovely stuff. And then this pack of brackets, kindly inherited from my dad. I mean, what do we want to do with these? I've got some in that one already. I think for the time being, we'll just do that. There we go. We now have some stock. Hopefully it comes in handy, and I guarantee you I'm going to have forgotten something, and I'll be calling you back at some point going, yeah, we're now stuck, and then we can't go any further because I need X, Y, Z, and the stores are all shut. But let's get started and find out. So the plan. We're going to go for this cabinet here first to make room for the fridge, which is arriving tomorrow. Aiming to try and make it so we can at least get it straight in there. Whether I get to cut in the countertop tonight, I don't know, because if you look, the countertop actually goes under the tiles slightly, which is going to be a pain in the arse to cut. Unless I really luck out and it lines up with that particular plug socket, but we might not be able to do that. So ideally I don't want to take the whole countertop out because it goes underneath all those tiles in the corner, which is going to cause a load of disruption. So I'll try and cut it in situ, and if I have to hand saw the last bit, then we will do. But what we're going to try to do is we need to, as you see, there's no support at all under the back of this or on the side of that. So what we're going to do is erect a temporary support structure underneath here, probably just using the trestles and a few bits of wood to hold the countertop up. We're then going to drop this cabinet down and out and move it back under there. And we're then going to cut the board over there, which I cut to 900mm to be on the safe side down to size. And I think it needs to be about 864, being NASA specific, scientific correct, but we'll fit it in either way. And then once that's in, we're probably going to take some of the wooden battening we collected. It's currently sitting out there, construct a nice strong edge for it, and then mount some plugs into the floor and into the wall just to hold it in place. So let's get started with it. So we've hit problem number one with this job. So I've released all the screws at the top. There was actually a hidden back plate behind the back of the cupboard, and the side panel is actually tacked into it. So what I've done, just to save destroying things, is I've dropped the screws out the back wall, and I might reuse that piece of battening just to make sure the cupboard's rigid over there. So everything's now loosey-goosey, the side now lifts, everything comes up. However, all three of these feet, screw. That one at the back, however, just doesn't seem to want to rotate. I get the impression somebody may have cross-threaded it and it's forcing it up against the countertop. I kind of need to preserve the leg. Well, I don't need to preserve the leg. I'm pretty sure you can just go buy those relatively cheaply. But if I want to get it going tonight, we're going to try to undo that. So I'll come back to you when I've got it released, to save you sitting there watching a time lapse of my arse wiggling around on the floor for the next 15 minutes. So I've figured out a solution. I'm just going to show you quickly on this front one. If you look in the bottom of these feet, which may be difficult to see in this light, there's actually a hole here. So what I was able to do is stick a screwdriver in there to hold it in place, and then rotate the body instead. And that's now released the pressure and allowed me to drop it down. So let's jump back into time-lapse mode. We've got the cabinet out and moved the trestles along, so that's now being propped up by that weight. What I wanted to do was sort of slide the cabinet in as it was to where it was supposed to go, and then make some marks on the walls through the holes so I know where to drill, and put some wall plugs in and get it all mounted up bish bash bosh, nice and easy. Unfortunately, the cupboard itself, it's not square. So this front edge here, you can see where they've sort of rough cut the edge of this cupboard here. That front edge is 500mm and the back is 490. The problem with that is that when I try and mount it flush up against the edge of that, it does all kinds of bucking and riding up and not sitting flat against the edge, and I can't make it look flush on the front. So what I'm currently thinking I'm going to have to do is actually dismantle this cabinet, sacrifice some of the 600mm board we've got there and go get another piece, and rebuild the bottom of this cabinet. And what I'll also do while I'm there is I'll move this side plate in here so that this sits flush on that edge, because currently it's got a laminate strip, two pieces tacked together effectively, holding the whole thing together. So yeah, as unexpected but also expected at the same time, things are probably going to take a little bit longer. So I'm going to have a little bit more fettling, but I think that's the plan. Actually, slight correction. I thought I'd double check it and figure just think of it from a different angle. Sometimes it's good to revisit your thoughts and just check that you're thinking in the correct way. And despite the fact the base plate is not square as we've checked, it's fortunate that it is still not square at the back. I know that's a fact. What I've actually realised is that this side place here is actually mounted a little bit further back off to one side, because this pillar is not normally there because I've mounted the side plate weird, so it's going to stick out anyway and I'm losing all of this space, which is just going to show. And what's actually happening is, because that's mounted further back, when you do try and push it in square, that back corner hits the wall first before this one does. So when you actually try and push this back corner back, it cants effectively the whole unit round, which is hard to do while filming. But you'll just have to trust me on that one, which throws it out of square. So actually, the best plan of action is we're going to drop this whole corner out here. We're going to take this pillar out, cut this down to size, and make this the internal edge exactly the same as on that side, which then should make the whole edge a little bit shorter and allow everything to fit in. So yeah, that is a little bit easier than having to rebuild the base and sacrifice some of that wood there. I'm still tempted to do it, given I know the base is not square, but let's see how we get them. Too bad. I did reuse the base plate in the end, but we're now in, and if you look, we are flush along this edge here. We are tucked up against the back there. We are tucked up and flat against the edge here, here and there. The only thing we've got that's a bit rubbish is that little gap down there where they've lopped out that corner of the board, but it's in. There we go. So I'm gonna, well, I say it's in. I'm gonna pop it back out again now. And I'm going to utilise that back brace. So I am going to use that. So I'm going to put the plugs in the wall quickly and get that plumbed in. But yeah, other than that, it's ready to go. And we have successfully moved the cupboard. Great success. There we go, and after much noise and dust, we are in. The cabinet is in. It's nice and solid. It's pretty square as well, which is good. I can't see a single thing I could have. Probably should have checked. Probably should have checked the door size before we'd done it, but it's in. That's the main thing. There's a slight gap there, I think. We probably won't go for the strip it out option. What we'll probably do is use that bit of wood we took out there and just fill that void basically. We'll just bang a quick strip in and tack it together just so it fills the gap. But I'm very pleased. It's in. Looks pretty decent. Looks pretty square. And yeah, we've just got the gap to move the drawers into, sort all the plumbing out, and pop that in. But we're looking good. But yeah, we're going to call it there for the day. So it's been pretty successful. Pretty much all day focused on that one cabinet. But we've got the timber available, we've got the wood, we've made the measurements, we've made some moves down here. We've got things shifted. So shouldn't be too much effort now tomorrow to get this side ripped up, get the new thing in there, and yeah, we're progressing well. But yeah, that's all for the day. End of day 6, 5, I don't know, I'm losing count of what day we're on now. But yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you tomorrow for a fridge and a washing machine arriving. Oh, one other one to ignore is the dent I put in the ceiling when I brought the boards in this morning, or this afternoon. But anyway, have a good one, and we'll see you in tomorrow's episode.